Lady Bird is a common bebop tune by pianist Tad Dameron. It has common and unique sections that are good for improvising study. We look at some improv ideas for this tune here. There's a PDF file that goes with this video. To get it, go to www.petemartin.info, click Videos, and scroll down to the Barry Harris for Jazz Mandolin series. It really helps my channel if you click like, so please do that so more folks can find these videos. I really appreciate it. As Barry does in most tunes, the first thing to do in Lady Bird is learn the chord progression and the scale outlines. See this in example 1. The first thing we need is 2 measures of C major chord. Start on the offbeat of 1 with a common bebop major phrase that emphasizes the 7 and 9 notes of the C major 7th chord. Into a chromatic surround of E, the 3rd, up to a 5 note to the F note. Then we ascend a scale up to the A flat note, which is the start of the next measure. See this in example 2. 3, 4, 1. Now 2 measures of B flat 7. The previous phrase had us start on the A flat note, the flat 7 of B flat 7. Here we pivot a chord on the B flat 7 scale and ascend a chord starting on the B flat note. Next, a chromatic surround into F, which is the 5 of B flat 7, and into a 4 phrase, which leads up chromatically to the E note, the 3rd of C major 7, which is the chord at the beginning of the next measure. See this in example 3. That included the first 2 notes of example 4. Having landed on E at the start of this measure, we go up to G. This makes a common bebop ending sound of 3-5. After a brief rest, F sharp to G twice, and ascend a 5-note chord down to F, where we chromatically go up to G, the 3rd of E flat 7, at the start of the next measure. See this in example 4. That included the first note of example 5. If you find this video useful, I ask that you consider supporting this channel and my website through my Patreon page, www.patreon.com/PeteMartin. For a very low monthly price, you allow me to keep adding content on my YouTube channel and website. I also teach lessons online and in person in Seattle, if anyone is interested. Plus, check out my website, www.petemartin.info, where I have free recordings, transcriptions, articles, videos on many music subjects, and info on the instruction books I sell. Thank you. Starting on G, the 3rd of E flat 7, we pivot a chord, descend to E flat, and go up a 6-note chord. The last 2 notes of this 6-note ascending chord, F and A flat, are a scalar surround to G, the 3rd of E flat 7. Descend the E flat 7 scale with 2 extra half steps to E flat, Then down the scale to C, the third of the A flat major 7, which is the start of the next measure. See this in example 5. Starting on C, we have another common bebop ending phrase sound, then into a rhythmic phrase. Play example 6. Chromatic half steps into A and D, the 5-1 of the D7 chord, begin the next measure. This leads into a 4-3 phrase where we use the flat 9 on the 3 phrase. This leads into a chromatic C, B, B flat, and lands on A, or the 9th of G7 at the beginning of the next measure. See example 7 now. 3, 4, 1. That included the first note of example 8. The next measure starts off with a G9 arpeggio, A, F, B, and G. Up a half step into a G sharp diminished scale that ends with D and F, the 5th and flat 7 of the G7 chord. At the end of the measure, a phrase leading to G, the 5th of the C major 7 chord. Play this in example 8. That included the first note of example 9. The last two measures of the tune contain what is called a turnaround or turnback. This is a series of chords to get us back to the first chord at the beginning of the form. The most common turnaround in this key is C major 7, A7, D7, G7. Lady Bird features the turnaround C major 7, E flat 7, A flat major 7, D flat major 7. This is often called the Lady Bird turnaround or the Tad Dameron turnaround, after the writer of Lady Bird. The chords E flat, A flat, and D flat are tritone substitutions for A, D, and G in the common turnaround. See this in example 9. This Lady Bird turnaround can be substituted into many jazz tunes, so it is something that you should learn in many keys. Your assignment is to learn Lady Bird and try to come up with some of your own improvising lines. Be sure to subscribe, click the bell icon to be notified of new videos, click like, and check out my website and Patreon page. I'm Pete Martin. Thanks for watching.